welcome back. So today I am actually starting the process of putting the yellow JCW back together, which is super exciting because that means it'll be mobile and smoggable and drivable, and that's exactly the goal. Now that all the parts are in, we can put it together, which is great. I think this will be a couple-day process, just because of how much needs to be replaced, but it'll be done and I'm very excited, and I'm going to say that it's going to go smooth because when I say that it might have complications, we have complications. So it's going to go smooth and I'm very excited to see this thing up and running. So let's head out to the car and start this process. So I just got the belt tensioner out of the yellow JCW. As you guys saw, it was broken. Pulled the last of that out. So this is what it should look like. That is one put together properly. This is what ours looks like. It's missing the bushing in here as well as on this side. Let's see here. It's missing the bushing in the strut. This is broken. This piece is like sheared off. And yeah, the spring was bent. So not how that's supposed to be, but that's why we have a new one to put in. So we're gonna be doing that and starting the process of putting this thing back together.
Breathe in the air, the light that surrounds me. If we hold ourselves together, we'll go far. Created a space, in my head it was empty.
Alrighty, so we are going on another day of putting in work on the yellow mini today. Hopefully I can make some more progress today, because I actually don't have too much going on. So that's what the plan is. Hopefully we can get this thing a good amount back together, if not all the way together today. So yeah, fingers crossed. I at least want to make some progress on this car today, so hopefully we can get that done.
But I know that I want to be where you are. Was denied. I had spent those years, did not recognize the person that's inside. We
Alrighty, so now I got that motor mount all lined up. Took forever, it was a huge pain in the butt. So now I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild the coolant pump or water pump or whatever you want to call it. We always called them coolant pumps when I worked at Mini, so that's just kind of what I have etched in my head now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and redo some gaskets on the supercharger for this car. So yeah, I will bring you along for that process.
Breathe in the air, the light that surrounds me. If we hold ourselves together, we'll go far. Created a space, in my head it was empty, but I know that I want to be where you are. I was denied. I had spent those years, did not recognize the person that's inside. We have a purpose, but to take that leap, you must recognize the person that's inside. Believe me, I swear, the story's not over. As I fall, I will continue to get up. I cannot stop because it is over. Live in the moment, living in a quiet place. To be everywhere, to be without a care. I was denied. Person that's inside. We have a purpose, but to take that leap, you must recognize the person that's inside.
Alrighty, so we are still working on the yellow JCW, getting it back together. We actually just got the belt on. That was a team process. So yeah, I'm just replacing everything that I know needs to on this car, finding more stuff like hoses that were replaced with hoses that shouldn't be used in the car, hoses that don't fit right. So I actually ended up having to replace, let me show you, having to replace the hose back here that goes behind this coolant pump and it connects to it from the thermostat. That hose was wrong. Also this hose that connects to the intake boot was the incorrect hose. As you can see, there's like, I don't know if you can tell, but there's too many hoses. I believe this is all actually one hose, but it's been replaced and cut, so kind of just working with it the best I can and replacing what hoses and nut stuff that I have OEM properly, because I want this car to be together as properly as possible. As OEM as possible, of course, is always the goal at first, to make sure it's reliable and it runs right, and then from there modify it, or at least for me that's how I like to do things. So that's what we're going to be doing with this car as well. So I'm just trying to get everything as back to as OEM as possible. So yeah, now we have the belt on. I'm actually going to go ahead and change the oil filter. Somebody I bought an R53 off of at one point left this in the car, and it's been the most convenient little tool that I've ever had, because it's significantly shorter in length than other sockets that I have for this. So it's been super convenient, super helpful. Everything's been really torqued down on this car improperly at points. So yeah, we might need a breaker bar for this. So yeah, let's start getting back to work, replacing everything, filling it up with oil, then putting all of the coolant stuff back together and filling it up with coolant, and then hopefully getting our first start. The extra hatch piece that we have is apparently the cat's bed. He's so happy. He's been out for a while. Now I think we got the oil filter out. Oh good God, this could be a part of your leak problem. What the actual fuck? So I just pulled the oil filter and the cap out for the oil filter, and I am shocked not only at the gasket but what's in here, how this filter is shaped inside and outside, and no wonder why there was such a gigantic oil leak. Alright, so we are going and hoping and praying for our first start on this car. It wasn't starting originally, but we think the clutch like safety switch or sensor, whatever you want to call it, was having a little bit of an issue, got disconnected. I'm assuming when we pulled out the carpets and whatnot, it just got tugged on and pulled out. So it's clipped in now, so hopefully it's gonna start. Go for it. Okay, turn it off, oh my. So after we started the car, we clearly went straight to the pulleys to see what that noise was coming from. That was god-awful. And we pulled off the idler pulley because it looked crooked. And this is what we found. Yeah, you can kind of see all the bearings in there. And it should definitely not have this much play. And then this is the one off of the parts car in significantly better condition. Okay, so we did our attempt one. It sounded awful, as we all heard. Tried to destroy the belt. You know, self-destructing, love it. So we replaced the idler tensioner. As you saw, the bearings were completely shot in it. So hopefully this time it won't sound so bad. So let's try it.
Ready?
Yep. Alrighty, so it's the next day. I'm not gonna lie, after everything that happened with the car, I was just happy to get it running. This car's taken a lot of time, giving me a lot of frustration going through it, finding hoses that aren't the right hoses, nothing's fitting, trying to put this car back together with hoses and stuff that were not fitting because they weren't the OEM hoses, they weren't set up right at all, and everything like that. It was a huge pain getting this car back together, to be completely honest. And then to start it, we had that original issue, and then we got it started again, left it running for a little bit, and then I noticed that there was a drip under the car. That drip was actually coolant. Thankfully, we did fix all of the oil leaks. Thank the Lord, I hate oil leaks. It's the last thing that I want to deal with. But yeah, we do have a coolant leak. I personally believe right now, from where I can see the drips coming from, that it's dripping directly from the coolant pump. I think that that flange did not seal all the way, which is really unfortunate, honestly. I tried to sand down the block because there was a lot of rust there, so I wanted to give it the best opportunity to seal up to that block and make sure there wasn't a leak, but I guess I just did not sand it enough. I think I'll have to go back in with some more sanding paper and a wire brush, and hopefully that fixes it. I'm not 100% sure that's where it is coming from, but that's my best guess based on where the dripping is coming from. So hopefully it's not something super minor that will be very difficult to find. Hopefully whatever it is obvious in my face, as much as I don't want to deal with it because it's really sucky that I have to do all of this work again. I have to pull the supercharger off and everything. You know, I want to make sure this car's running right. There's no point to start it after all this time, fixing all these gaskets and everything, just to have this car have a leak that we have to deal with all the time and be worried about. That's absolutely 100% not the goal. So yeah, unfortunately I thought this was going to be the repair video, but instead it is just a part of the process, and we're gonna go back and we are going to repair it. Now, this new issue, thankfully it starts and we know that it's running all right, which is great. We have a belt back on it. That's something that we didn't start with, so I gotta keep the positives in my head, because otherwise I know I'm gonna get really down about this whole situation. Having to go all the way back to where I was when I started this repair is a big bummer, but it's a part of the process, so I'm trying to keep my head up. Yeah, so you guys are gonna have to stick around to see this thing drive, unfortunately, but what can you do? I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.